Listen to what this man has to say.
Nobody said you can debate it all you want. I know someone is going to come in the comment section because I always do whenever I make a statement that y'all know is true, but y'all don't like it. But y'all can debate it all you want. But I'm going to say this. Being a single mom on the dating market is like being ex-con on the job market.
That's 100% facts. You single moms are so cooked, it's not even funny. This is a standard that men that have made it in life have, and these women are so bitter and upset because they realize now the power dynamic has now shifted to the men. So if you are a young man that is financially stable, have everything going for you, like myself, I'm 45 years old, so I'm still young. I still look young. I have a beautiful wife. I have everything going on for me. We have options. Okay? So now the power dynamic has now shifted because now we the men have what these women want. We now have the ability to make some lucky woman's life stable. That's exactly what they're looking for. The men that are their age are not fully in their prime yet. A man's prime is a little bit later, right? So I'm going to say about 30, 35 to 50. I'm going to say 35 to 50. So around 35 to 50, we start making money. We start doing things that attract women. Uh, I retired 6 years ago at age 39. That's exactly how I attracted my wife. I mean, there's not a lot of men around here, especially where I live in my neighborhood, that can say they're retired at 39. Last time I checked, 100% of these men outside my home still have to work. I don't. So when you have something like what I have going on, and that woman is comparing her options, a retired man versus a man that's pulling 60, 70, 80 hours a week and making and have less money than what I have, who do you think that woman is going to pick? Think about it. She is going to pick the best option possible. The best option possible is who she is going with. So may the best man win at this point. And when we are one of the best men, we have options. That's why they're so mad and salty. And then they get on here. I am a high value woman, and no man can tell me anything. And I am woman, hear me roar, and all this extra stuff that they be doing on social media. And yet they telling they're bragging about all of that and their looks and whatever, and they don't have no man, and they're still single and bitter and salty, and it don't even matter what this woman looks like. As soon as you open your mouth and say, I am a single mom, I don't care what you look like, these men that do not want kids are going to 100% reject you. That is 100% facts. Because you can be replaced with a woman that looks just like you, but a woman that's not in your situation. There are women out there that don't date men that have kids. So we can do the same thing and not date women that have kids. Anybody has the right to have this standard, whether you're male or female, because you should not be subject to something that you don't want to be a part of. End of story. You can't force somebody to do something they don't want to do. So why are you upset? Oh, you're upset because you didn't get your way. You missed out on some good opportunities. You see in some other woman getting what you want, a stable man giving her everything in life. That's exactly what you want in your life, but you messed up because you decided to do some stuff, and now you're experiencing the consequences of your actions. Having the children before you get married, that is a consequence, a very real consequence of not doing things correctly. So if you cannot behave, you cannot control yourself, and you have children before your time or before you have money, that is 100% on you. You should have controlled yourself. So to the people that have controlled themselves and are getting into relationships correctly, keep doing what you're doing. Ignore these people out there telling you you should have kids before your time and the single mom life is the way to go. It is not the way to go. It's been proven is not the way to go. I used to be a correction sergeant. In fact, I retired as a correction sergeant. Your kids have a statistical disadvantage, and there's a high probability that they will be incarcerated in a prison because they have behavioral problems due to your lack of discipline. So when your kid has their crazy behavioral problems, all of a sudden they turn 18, they do something wrong, and the first person, whether it's a man or woman, is going to be a police officer or a federal agent or somebody, depending on what they do, is going to hold your child accountable for the first time, and it's going to result in charges and possibly prison time, depending on the severity of the crime. Because your child grew up thinking he or she could do whatever they want, and they were untouchable, and they had this delusion that they were untouchable until law enforcement gets a hold of your child. And once that happens, that's the unless they're willing to change and rectify the situation early before anything else happens, they may have a shot at surviving. If it was one crime and the crime wasn't something crazy, they may have a shot at putting their life back together. But once they start doing multiple crimes, multiple arrests, and then they shot their whole record to holy hell with multiple felonies, all I can say is good luck, because you raised that. You are directly responsible for raising that craziness and putting that out into the world. So now this child that had no training is now being absolutely held accountable for their actions, and will continue to be held accountable by law enforcement for their crazy actions until they eventually put that person away forever. That's exactly how that's what I used to deal with for a living. I used to deal with your worst nightmares, incarcerated in 4 different facilities, and the last one was a women's prison. I worked as a sergeant, and then I retired at 39. Now I'm 45 years old, married, chilling. So this is why we don't want to get involved with you, because you don't raise these kids correctly. For one, the child support, we're not paying that. 2, you don't raise the kids correctly. So we're tired of telling you you don't raise them correctly, and you, in your ignorance, I'm a single mom, I can do as I please, and this is my kid. That's your kid, and you're going to turn him or her into a absolute monster if you don't teach them right and wrong, right from wrong. I am out of here. This is why single mothers are getting rejected. I'm done.